In this video, we will talk about angles and their measures. We will start with a definition of a ray. A ray is half of a line that starts at one point and continues in one direction indefinitely. Now, let's see the definition of an angle. An angle is a geometric figure formed by two rays that start at the same point. For example, here we have one ray and another ray that starts from the same point. This point is called the vertex. One of the sides is called the initial side and the other one the terminal side. There are different ways of naming an angle, and one way is to use lowercase Greek letters. One Greek letter that is often used to write an angle is the letter theta. We will use this letter throughout this video. Now let's talk about measuring angles. The two most common units for measuring angles are degrees and radians. Let's have a ray. If this ray completes a full rotation back into itself, then the angle formed is a 360-degree angle. As you see, the symbol for degrees is this small circle next to the number. Now, if a ray completes only half of the rotation, then we get an angle that measures 180 degrees. This angle is called a straight angle. Now, 1/4 of a rotation forms a right angle. The measure of this angle is 90 degrees. Now, an angle that is between 0 degrees and 90 degrees is an acute angle. For example, this angle that measures 40 degrees is an acute angle. And an angle that measures more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees is an obtuse angle. For example, an angle of 145 degrees would be an obtuse angle. Now, let's see what is an angle in standard position. This is an angle whose vertex is at the origin of the rectangular coordinate system and whose initial side lies along the positive x-axis. So here we have the rectangular coordinate system, and to draw an angle in standard position, we have to put the vertex at the origin of the rectangular coordinate system. Then the initial side has to be along the positive x-axis. The terminal side can be anywhere depending on the measure of that angle. Angles can be positive or negative. If from the initial side we move counterclockwise toward the terminal side, then this angle will be a positive angle. For example, let the measure of this angle be 135 degrees. Now, let's see an example of a negative angle in standard position. So here we have the rectangular coordinate system, and we will start with the vertex at the origin and the initial side on the positive x-axis. Let's draw the terminal side. And now a negative angle is generated by a clockwise rotation. So let's draw this arrow moving clockwise, and let's say that this angle has the measure of negative 110 degrees. So if a positive angle is generated by a counterclockwise rotation, a negative angle is generated by a clockwise rotation. Now let's take a look at the following angles in standard position. First of all, the rectangular coordinate system divides the entire plane into 4 regions, and these regions are called quadrants. Here we have quadrant 1, then quadrant 2, then quadrant 3, then quadrant 4. The first angle has a measure of 30 degrees, and it's positive because it's generated by a counterclockwise rotation. The terminal side of this angle lies in quadrant 1. Then we say that this angle is located in quadrant 1. The next angle is a negative angle because it is generated by a clockwise rotation, and the measure is negative 250. The terminal side of this angle is in quadrant 2. Then we say that this angle lies in quadrant 2. The next angle is a positive angle and lies in quadrant 4. And now let's take a look at this angle. The terminal side of this angle is not in quadrant 1 and is not in quadrant 2. Instead, is on the positive y-axis. When the terminal side of an angle lies on the y-axis or on the x-axis, such an angle is called quadrantal angle. So, this angle of 90 degrees is a quadrantal angle. Here we have another angle whose measure is negative 180 degrees because it is generated by a clockwise rotation and the terminal side is on the negative x-axis. Then such an angle is also called a quadrantal angle. And in the last example, this angle has the terminal side on the negative y-axis, and this is also a quadrantal angle. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching.